And then at the end of the call, I'm going to come back and give some next steps. So it's fantastic to see you all on here. I'm going to go straight into our first speaker for today. This man is an absolute powerhouse. Over the last 2 years, he has set the tone on how to walk through stormy periods and come out the other side a winner. We're so grateful for all that you've done. Mr. Joseph Haidt, over.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning around the world. Very, very happy to see all of you again, and I can see that there are so many thousands of people in this call. This is amazing. Thank you very much to attending it. Joseph Haidt, founder of GSB, tonight here with GSP, and if you hear, please listen carefully what I will state here, because this is the last call for GSP in this year, and in my opinion, one of the greatest calls which you will hear. Just listen carefully and you will be very happy. GSP, strength, vision, ethics, unity, becoming greatest again. Ladies and gentlemen, team members, partners, builders of this mission, today I want to speak not only about the situation we face, but about who we are, where we are heading, and why nothing, not confusion, not noise, not fear, can stop a company built on purpose. The silence has ended, clarity begins now. In every powerful organization, there comes a moment when leadership must rise and speak with full transparency, confidence, and truth. This is that moment. Recently, a small handful of individuals who earned commissions, who were celebrated, who received bonuses, who built their identity under this company, are now questioning the very ethics of the same structure that made their success possible. Not because we failed, not because our values changed, not because our technology stopped working. They question it because fear entered their mind. Someone whispered confusion. Pressure exposed their lack of foundation. Blaming the company felt easier than taking responsibility. Let's be clear. Fear does not rewrite ethical foundation. Pressure does not redefine truth. Insecurity does not erase history. If the company was ethical when they collect their bonuses, it is ethical now even if their courage collapsed. The real issue is not ethics, it's integrity. We must call this what it is. This is not an ethic problem. This is an integrity problem of very small group. People who benefited are now blaming the same structure because they fear the noise behind them. Strong people stay, weak people shake. Leaders build, followers panic. A company is not judged by those who run in fear, but by those who stay with purpose. And thousands stands with purpose today, stronger, clearer, more united than ever. Our ethics stand firm, built correctly from day one. This company operates on transparent structure, technology that delivers, smart contracting, real value, clear reward system, compliance, logic, and discipline. A community built on mutual benefit. Nothing in our foundation has changed, nothing has cracked. Nothing has failed. Ethics are proven in storms, not sunshines. From defense to vision, the shift begins now, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to lift our eyes above the distractions. We step into a new chapter, bigger than past, stronger than present, and unstoppable in the future. We will become the greatest again, stronger, more ethical, more unstoppable. The tangible truth, what we built, we deliver it. We promise a transparent, incorruptible smart contracting technology, we deliver it. Battle test, proven, award winning for 9 consecutive months. The foundation is here, the technology is real. And now, we welcome you into it. Culture, the standard we stand on. Integrity, professionalism, teamwork, accountability, empowerment, leadership. This is not a place for drama, gossip, or fear. This is a home for people who grow, learn, build, and win. Set clear goals for everyone. Every member will now have a clear path, daily accountable steps, transparent rewards, tools for duplication, personal and financial training, predictable results. Clarity removes excuses. Reinforce global expansion. We choose expansion. Scale internationally, open new strategic market, strengthen digital onboarding, launch more automated tools, expand brand confidence. Growth is not an accident, ladies and gentlemen. Growth is decision. Technology, community, and leadership, the winning formula. Technology gives efficiency, community gives power, leaderships give directions. When these three align, nothing can break us. A message to true leaders, to those who state, you will be rewarded. To the confused, we will guide you. To the attackers, your crisis does not define us. The comeback beginning now, ladies and gentlemen. We are not ending, we are not breaking, we are rising. We rebuild, we reinforce. We expand, we innovate. We return to number one by unity, clarity, and discipline. Apertum DAO, responsibility and integrity focused. From this moment forward, let every member, every partner, every leader understand we are now Apertum DAO. Apertum DAO is more than a structure, it's shared responsibility. Its community integrity is the framework that keeps us aligned, protected, and growing together. It's guided by smart contracts, clarity, DAO-based rules, community integrity standards. When we move under these principles, trust grows, support strengthens, and progress became predictable. For those who prefer central platforms, some people fear safer when everything is controlled by a single company. It's understandable. Central platforms look comfortable. One button, one authority, one decision maker. But comfort has a price, dependency. Centralized platforms decide who wins, who loses, who is allowed, and who gets blocked. They decide your limits, your fees, your access, your future. And history already proved it. Banks froze accounts, exchange collapsed, companies shut down product overnight, regulators force entire systems to pause. A centralized platform can disappear in a day, with it, your opportunity. Why we don't follow that path? DAO, One, Apertum, and our entire ecosystem were built with one core principle. If you depend on one central authority, you are never free. Instead, who choose a structure where the system can operate even if one company must pause. Value is created by the community, not the CEO. Rewards are transparent, on-chain, and traceable. Power is distributed, not concentrated. We don't trust platforms. We trust mathematics, cryptography, blockchain rules, and our community. This is the difference between centralized comfort vs decentralized control. One gives you permission, the other gives you ownership, ladies and gentlemen. When someone says, I prefer central platforms, here's the answer. Then you also accept the consequences because central power always comes with central failure. We don't build products that depend on the mood of one company. We will build systems that continue to grow and reward regardless of who likes it or who tries to stop it. This is not about fighting central platforms. It's about not being controlled by them. Central platforms are perfect for spectators. Decentralized ecosystems are built for owners. Choose what you want to be. The responsibility, clarity, calm, firm, unmistakable. Apertum DAO operates with transparent guidelines, clear process, community agreed expectations. Those who choose alignment stand with in a framework of support and clarity. Those who act independently outside agreements or standards simply place themselves outside the environment where Apertum DAO can provide structure or stability. No threats, no hostility, no pressure, just truth. Responsibility and protection exist within the community, not outside of it. The community code built on integrity, not force. From today, the guidelines are for alignment, the direction is for clarity, the structure is for stability. This is not control, this is responsibility, ladies and gentlemen. Those who align will grow, those who lead, responsibility will elevate, those who commit to integrity will shape the future. Apertum DAO is our shared chapter, is our collective direction, and is the path we build together. Anyone who walks with us walks under one principle. Stay aligned, stay responsible, stay in integrity. Together, as Apertum DAO, we rise to number one again. Final section, settlement, victory, industry significance. And now, after 2 long years of regulatory pause, after compliance reviews, after structural adjustments, after demonstrating transparency and cooperation, we can finally speak the truth with full confidence. We won. The process is concluded, the settlement is finalized, and most importantly, no fines, no penalties, no finding of wrongdoing. Regulators examined us, they questioned us, they reviewed our system in detail, and after all analysis, the result was undeniable. Apertum DAO stands as compliant, legitimate, and fully respect organization. Clean settlement, no violations, no fines, no wrongdoing, fully regulatory clarity, permission to move forward stronger than ever. This outcome speaks louder than any critic, any rumor, or any misunderstanding. It speaks for our integrity, it speaks for our systems, it speaks for our future. To emerge from regulatory pause with a clean result is a victory few companies ever achieve. It proves one thing with absolute clarity. Apertum DAO stands today not because we avoid the truth, it stands because we remain in the truth. We walked forward with a clean record, strong foundation, unified mission, proven structure, and victory that speak for itself. This is who we are, this is what we stand for, and this is why we will rise again to become number one in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues will continue with clear instruction how we are going forward and what are the steps. I hope you understood the message. We will share this message and we will make it publicly visible. Thank you very much to stay with us. Reward time, it's coming. You are in mitten on it. Thank you very much. And have a happy new year. And I'm pretty sure you will have the very happiest. Thank you.
Right. So for those of you who are taking notes, the good news is that we will be taking this announcement, this summary, these notes, and putting it directly into your gspro.network accounts. Now, remember, we don't send emails out with links. We don't ask for passwords. We don't ask you to connect wallets. And there are many scammers and cloners out there who are sending emails to the GSP database. Remember, all information from the GSP team will go out directly inside of your email password protected accounts. Beware of scammers posing as GSP and sending out emails. Now, at the end of today's call, I will be taking you through a summary and some next steps behind me. And I have been scanning the Q&A box, so I am picking up on some questions that are coming out of the community. But before we go into that, I want to hand over to another gentleman who has been integral over the last 2 years. That's right. Whilst our GSP community has had a forced pause due to cease and desists, that does not mean the team that has been building in the background has paused at all. In fact, we've continued to build off the statements and presentations made in 2023. And the man who's going to talk about that is Mr. Dirk Zalman. So Dirk, over to you.
So, hello and welcome everyone.
You're on mute at the moment, Dirk.
Can you hear me? Should be hearing. Can you hear me now?
Nope, your microphone's disappeared. Oh, it's back on.
Okay, thank you so much. So, hello and welcome everyone out there in the world. Several thousand people are on the call right now, and you already heard from Mr. Haidt a lot of good news that we're having and why we did that. We today will have a wonderful situation because we already prepared what we announced in November 2023, that we will have a wonderful decentralized platform called Apertum going into the next era and bringing you into the next era of what's going to happen within the next digital era. Now you see in the next minutes, you will see from Bruce Hughes how we want to execute on that, how we want to build it up. But I want to give you some results from Apertum, from the blockchain. That will be the next station, the next home that you have, the final home that you're having. So when we did build up Apertum and we launched Apertum, that was this year, in January this year, we already achieved several milestones that are in the blockchain space and the digital space. They are extraordinary. We already completed on the Apertum blockchain more than 6.5 million transactions in the first year. Just to give you a perspective, what does it mean? When we compare that to other big blockchains in this world, for instance, Bitcoin completed 300,000 transactions, Ethereum 1 million transactions, Solana about the same size, 6-7 million transactions in this first year, and we did 6.5 million transactions in the first year. So for Apertum, that means we did in the first year way more usage, way more transaction on the Apertum blockchain than any other blockchain did in the first year. We also mined already more than 5 million blocks. So that means that even the native coin Apertum, the mining of the native coin Apertum, was used and is distributed already further than the most blockchains out there that are existing. So you see what's going to happen when this happens already in the first year, what's going to be in the next 2, 3, 4 years. We already got several times awarded with the most innovative blockchain 2025, the most successful launch of a blockchain 2025, and the fastest growing blockchain 2025. This has to do with an active distributing and communicating community called DAO1, which is a decentralized organization that is attached to the Apertum blockchain. So for us, these milestones are groundbreaking for what we are doing. We built something, and we did build something up with Apertum blockchain that combines all the other blockchains together. And now, as Mr. Haidt said, already audited with one of the biggest audit companies in the world. And this is not a normal audit. They have given Apertum blockchain an audit, which is very, very rare. So that means that there's no downtimes, no mistakes in the blockchain. All smart contracts are proven. So that means that this is not only that we have a mass situation where more than 6 million transactions have already been done, we also have a proof that this blockchain is fully decentralized, fully driven by smart contracts, which gives DAO1 as well the first proof in the world that there's an active community DAO, decentralized organization, that is run by a smart contract, which has a proof and an audit, and that makes it so powerful. So Apertum will be the next big thing and is already the next big thing in the blockchain space, in the DeFi space, in the Launchpad tokenization space, several times awarded, and we are not stopping. Next year will be the really big year for Apertum because everyone will know about Apertum. A lot of partner companies, a lot of projects already prepared to be on the Apertum blockchain, but there are big, big names in there. And when all these projects and all these partners come to the Apertum blockchain, that means that we will have even more usage of the blockchain, which gives you also the ability to get your benefits out of the next big blockchain that's coming out there. So be prepared, buckle up, and use it for your benefit, because this is something that is really, really huge. And as we announced it in 2023 already, we will not only break records, we will innovate the whole space in what we're doing. And that is already proven this year in the first year of the Apertum blockchain with DAO1. So I'm looking forward with you together to create out of that the biggest blockchain that is out there in the world, and the biggest benefits that you can get out of a blockchain as a person like you, as a person like your neighbor, as a person that will need to have the blockchain, will need to have DeFi, will need to have all that products that this ecosystem has to offer. So thank you so much. I know that you're waiting eager for Bruce now to explain to you how that works with GSB now migrating, integrating into the Apertum blockchain. I'm looking forward to meet you again all. And thank you so much for today, giving back to Bruce with all the execution. Thank you so much.
Dirk, thank you so much for that. And again, it's important to note that back in November 2023, GSP hosted a huge event in Cape Town, a sold-out event, and announced off stage that all value, all operations, all products and services would be consolidated onto a transparent blockchain. That blockchain was named and publicized. In other words, put into the public domain as Apertum. And so even though there's been a forced pause, and let me explain what a forced pause is for every person who's keyboard worrying in the Q&A about where's my money and what's happening. A forced pause is when you get issued cease and desist. And legally you cease and desist operations and work through the legal process of coming out on the other side. It's been a 2-year journey. And as Mr. Height has announced, that journey is finally done. We can press the green light again. We can go again. We can deliver what we've promised, and we are delivering that today. So let's go through some next steps. Firstly, let me talk to every person who put in a refund request. I want to deal with the first group of people. These are the people who put in their refund requests. These refund requests could have been done with third parties. Certainly our North American counterparts have done refund requests through third parties. This has been announced numerous times. And then we've also had our global community doing refund requests through GSP. That refund request was open globally for 90 days, as well as the third-party requests were open for a little bit longer because of some jurisdictions having arrived late to that process. Thankfully, that is all done, and as Mr. Height has announced, that has been accounted for, forensically audited, and that chapter has finally come to an end. That means the forced pause is over. That's why we're so excited. So let's have a look at what the next steps are for the community who joined this project because you wanted value, you wanted growth, you weren't part of the refund, you wanted to come with on the journey and get the most value for your time. And again, we've all been paused for 2 years. So what does it look like going forward? Right now, people have GSP accounts, and we've got 2 types of people sitting within the GSP accounts system or accounts or ecosystem. We've got users who are just customers. They're people who bought products, they've got value sitting inside of there, they need to take next steps. We've also got people in our community who are part of our referral program. In other words, they earned commissions whilst GSP was selling products. And because of this refund program, those commissions that are being refunded mean that the sales that were made during those period are now void. And so the second group of people, you are also sitting with what we would call a claimable value. But your claimable value, as we've communicated, is decreasing in accordance with the refund process that is now being delivered out to all the refund people. So those people who are within your 9 levels, so 1 to 9 level of commissions, anyone who has asked for refund, as those refunds are now processed and that refund figure is put against your claimable amount is dropping. Now, what does each group get to do going forward? Each group gets to obviously get access to that value. Now, how do we make sure that we protect our community? We have a big KYC process to go through. The good news is this KYC process is online, and we are integrating what's called a liveness test. For those of you who don't know what a liveness test is, within your GSP back office, when you click next step, you end up inside of the KYC. All it's going to do is check that you are the real person who's in control of the account. We've received multiple communications. In fact, if you go into the Q&A box, you will see people saying, I got this email from you guys asking for this information. No, we've received multiple communication of people who've said, is this you sending me this email? Is this you asking me to click this link? Is this you? Guys, we have sent nothing in email with a clickable link. We know for a fact that people have received it. They've handed over their details to scammers. And the only way that we can get rid of those scammers is to do a KYC with a liveness test. A liveness test just means that when you upload your KYC documents, your device is also going to ask you to look at it, turn left, turn right, in order to say this is you and not somebody else pretending to be you. So we want to make sure that your value arrives at you and not hijacked by someone who's stolen your details because maybe you innocently thought you were speaking to GSP. We want to protect those people. So step one, every person in their GSP back office is either going to see a very neat report because they're just customers, they've never ever earned commissions, or they're going to see a report that is showing refunds versus obviously claimable amounts. They'll then click on next step. That'll take them into a KYC process. Just upload your documents to prove that it's you. Use the same email when you have to verify your email that's on the GSP, and make sure that you move your head left, right, up, down, so we know you're a real person. Lastly, you then land on, as Mr. Haidt has pointed out, the Apertum DAO. This is where the blockchain transparently distributes value. Not a CTO, not a CFO, no one who can fudge the books. This is where value gets distributed. And most of you have value in two different places, right? You've got the value, the product that you've purchased, and you've got inside of that value that you've put to work, what we've always talked about as load. So look forward, please, to following this process. I can tell you right now that the tech team is setting up to have this all in place. So from January onwards, we'll be able to go check your numbers, make sure they're accurate, click next step, do the KYC, move across into the vehicle where all transparency or distribution runs through a smart contract. It's been a long 2 years. Incredibly long for everybody. When a company gets issued with a cease and desist, there's two options that we've seen previously. Some companies have just given up. They've liquidated. They've said, we're not going to fight this battle. We're not going to fight the legal battle. It's too expensive. They liquidate. They send a communication out. Hey, sorry, everybody. Read the terms and conditions. We made a mistake. Good luck. In the Q&A box, let me know how many companies you've gone through or been exposed to where you put value in and they've disappeared. That's one option. The second option is that you work with those legal entities you prove your case, you come out on the other side, and you don't just come out on the other side going, what should we do next? You come out on the other side with the plan that you communicated to begin with. We've stuck to the roadmap that we communicated with. It's not the perfect roadmap because the timelines have certainly been delayed. If you think you're frustrated and you're angry and you're losing it in the Q&A, imagine sitting on this side of the table and having to get onto those legal calls and get onto those next step calls and having to go work through the audit calls. 2 years. I think there's still some companies that are fighting 3, 4, 5 years later. The reason we're excited is that we've kept our word. And now you get to act on that word. So please, I want to finish with this. Do not click on any links that are sent to an email from GS Pro. The only email we will send out will be an email that says, please go and log into your gspro.network account using your own email, password, two-factor authentication. Inside of that account, you will see a pop-up with next steps. You will see a news section with any summaries. We will only communicate through GSP. If there are any links to click, they will be inside of your GSP back office. So please watch for this major update. This is update 1 coming into the back office. Our technical team is making sure that that is set up live and ready by January. Okay, so everybody go and have Christmas. After Christmas, it's work time. Make sure if you're just a customer, you're taking next step directly into your KYC. It'll be from GSP office, not from an email link, not from someone pretending to be GSP. Make sure that you're the person who owns that account because the liveness test is put in place to protect against scammers. And then obviously we will be issuing value transparently on the blockchain through DAO1, just like we communicated back in November 2023. I want to thank you so much for your time. For all of you who came onto this call, thank you. If you know people who missed this call, please redirect them. We will be sending a summary into the GSP back office. Have a fantastic Christmas. We will see you in January. It is go time in January. Thank you very much.